everybody. Welcome back. Oh my gosh, this is going to be an amazing 15 minutes. Today, I want to talk about animals. And then next week, we're going to get back to taking more readings from callers, okay? I want to talk about animals because I have had so many questions coming in about how animals fit into all of this. How do animals fit into readings? How do they fit into, do they have souls? What happens when they cross over? How do we communicate with them? Do they get through to us the same way that our loved ones and angels and spirit guides do? And I've had so many questions pouring in. And so I wanted to take this time to just kind of summarize some of that for you guys, because so many of you love your animals and you have got fuzzy family members or scaly or feathery family members at home. And this is really important for you to know in order to help them and enjoy them more and enhance your bond, right? So first of all, I want to let you guys know I have updated my website name and it is now larkinsreadings.com. So larkinsreadings.com. And I do actually have an animal interpreter page. And these are the types of things that we talk about. So let's start with the first basic thing. Number one, people always ask me, do animals have souls? Because, you know, a lot of times the churches tell us, no, they don't. Well, yeah, of course they do. Everything is energy. All energy is conscious. Animal souls are growing and evolving just like yours is. And so they may not have our prefrontal cortex, our intellect. They can't do mathematics. They can't design and build a house. They can't write a song, right? They don't have our opposable thumb. So there's things they can't do and build. They don't have our vocal cords. They don't have the shaped mouth that we do. So they can't actually speak and make language like we do. But guess what, guys? It doesn't mean they're not conscious of it. It doesn't mean they don't have emotions. It doesn't mean they're not aware. It doesn't mean they're not intuitive. It doesn't mean they don't have purpose. So animal souls actually come into this world with a purpose, just as important as yours or mine. It might be to meet another animal and to help that animal while it's struggling, or because those animal souls are connected. It might be an extension of a human energy and where it wants to come and actually support a human being. My uncle had a cat that reincarnated 4 times for him during his lifetime. And every time the new cat would find them and come into their home, it was exactly like the old cat. It had the exact same habits. It had the exact same name. It had the same preferences. I mean, it was just unbelievable. So, you know, we are taught to believe that they are less than us, that they are less intelligent than us, that they don't care and they don't have purpose and they're not sensitive, but they are. They have emotions like we do. They are, you know, they have intuition like you and I. But the thing is that non-human animals actually, they are more connected to their intuition than we are. They could predict the future better than we can. They can see and connect to other souls and energies that have crossed over better than we can. Because guess why? This great prefrontal cortex, this thinking device that we have, that also is our ego, that makes us so brilliant. Guess what else? It also limits us, right? As I shared on the pre-show party today, our prefrontal cortex, our ego, actually blocks us in so many ways, right? It's our egoic veil. It causes us to be jealous. It causes us to be angry. It causes us to have hurt feelings. And non-human animals are just totally pure, right? They may have had histories that cause them to be fearful or not trusting or not like a particular situation or type of person or animal, but they are what they are. They're not judgmental like we are, and they are really good at observing. So they can look at a situation and they can know long before you or I where the danger is, what the best way home will be, where to go, what to do, who's sick or hurt. If you come home and you've got a scratchy throat and a stuffed up nose and you think, it's a sinus infection. Well, guess what? Your dog or cat knows better. Your dog or cat can tell if you're sick and have a fever or if you just have allergies, right? But here's the problem. And this is one of the questions that's been pouring in for me, especially since I've started here on Psychic Air Radio. And that is, but they can't tell us. So how do we communicate with them? And I'll tell you, I know for me personally, I'm a much better receiver from an animal than I am a sender, right? I am still trying to learn, how do I speak the animal's language to get them to do what I need them to do, or to understand what I need or want them to understand. But I'm a better receiver. So I can receive images from them and feelings from them and understand, okay, this is what they're going through, or they have a pain there. And most of us tend to learn to do the receiving first, but some of you are just more natural senders, okay? But I want to make sure I answer this question for all of you tonight, because so many people come to me and they're like, well, they want an animal reading. But here's the problem. As human beings, what they want to know is they want to know what they want to know about the animal. They want to know how to get the animal to do or understand what they want. And what I want to share with you all this evening is, if you really want to receive that information and you want to have a better relationship or solve a problem or have a deeper connection and understanding with your non-human animal, then guess what? You have to do some of the things that you as a human don't want to do. You have to actually let go of your judgments and your assumptions and still this. And be still and be peaceful inside like they are, because an animal's mind isn't always going like yours is. It's still, it's peaceful. So when you learn to be still inside and you learn to be quiet and you stop telling them and trying to get them to do what you want them to do, or anxious to figure out what you want to know from them, guess what? It gives them space. You're holding space for that animal to really present who they are to you. Because here's something I want to offer all of you tonight, is the opportunity to put yourself in your animal's shoes. I want you all to imagine, like I shared on the pre-party, I want you to imagine that you were living with a different species who was taking care of you, who didn't speak your language, who didn't really understand you, who kind of guessed about your wants and needs, who knew what it meant to keep you alive. But every time you try to express yourself, your feelings, your wants, your needs, your frustrations, they misunderstood you. I'm sure most of you know what that feels like with other human beings. It's so frustrating. Maybe your spouse just doesn't get you. They don't understand you. Or you have a loved one that crossed over and you wanted to tell them something, and you really think that they passed from this world and didn't understand what you wanted to share. Well, guess what? This is how your non-human animal companions feel most of the time, every day of their lives. They love you, but they're very, very, very patient with us. They're dependent on us, and they wait their entire lives for us to understand them, right? So think about it. They can't write. We don't speak their language, but they understand more of our language than we understand of theirs. They feel our emotions. They can read our thoughts. They know our intentions, and yet they try so hard to respond, and they're just patient. They're waiting for us, right? They have to abide by our rules. And so, the next time you're trying to connect or communicate with an animal, think about this. Consider the fact that for that connection to really be made, you're going to have to let go of some of the control. You're going to have to let go of some of what you want from them, what you want them to do. If they are behaving in a funny way and you're saying to yourself, oh, I hear people do this all the time. Oh, he's mad. He's angry. No, he's probably just frustrated and being patient, waiting for you to realize that he or she is trying to communicate with you. Okay. I could go on for hours about any of these topics with animals, but I want to just kind of give you guys a basic summary so that next week, if any of you callers want to ask about animals or have an animal reading or communicate with an animal that has crossed over, you can call in with your questions. Okay. And you can also, connect with me on larkinsreadings.com and my Larkin Animal Interpreter page or Psychic Medium page on Facebook. We talk about all this stuff, guys, but next week I'll be taking live calls. And if you want to include your questions to be about animals, you can do that. We love to take those questions. I only have about 90 seconds left on here. So I want to leave you with a couple more things. Your animals, when they cross over the rainbow bridge, they can still feel and hear and see you just like the human beings can. Okay. Do they go to heaven? Yes, absolutely. When you cross over, are you going to see your past animals on the other side? Yes, because just like us, they have a spirit body and a soul, and they're growing and they're evolving, and they love you and they are there for you. So if you're thinking about your animal and you're missing them and you're tearing up, guess what? They know that. They can see you and feel you, because we on this side, it's so hard for us to sense the energy side, the non-physical. But non-physical knows everything about us, and they're still right there loving us. And my friends, this includes your animals. We've only got about 30 seconds left, so I want to say one last thing. When your animals cross over, guys, they want you to use that space they have left to bring another animal into your life. So please don't feel that just because you lose an animal, it doesn't mean you can't bring another one in. We don't find animals. They find us. And they have agreed and come with our souls into our lives with a purpose. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you again next Thursday. Bye, everyone.